first race of the day at the birthday meeting of Kyalami. 1 year old today. And Sorrel van der Merwe is on pole position, but just before we came on air, drama for Sorrel. Something wrong with the boost in his motor car, and he's departed for the pits. There he is, furiously working on the car as the field starts on its rolling start lap, or warm-up lap, just to get their tyres good and warm. And other news is that Ben Morganwood has brought out a brand new 323, and Ben now takes over pole position in the 323 Mazda. There it is on the left-hand side, and just behind him will be Willie Hepburn and Tony Viana. So just having a look at the circuit, there it is, away from the pits there. You have about 150 meters to the first corner, which is Gantz, and then it's all acceleration. All the sponsors, Bowman's on the left-hand side as you go to Yellow Pages. It's the old clubhouse corner, now Yellow Pages. Very heavy braking, lots of excitement as they go through that corner. Close company, the cars touch each other very often there. And then they head along the famous straight towards Top Sport from Yellow Page. That's 250 meters of straight into the Top Sport S's. You go left, you go right, and then you climb a very steep hill up past the Winfield signs to the wet shelf at Wesbank corners. You can see Wesbank made up of a braking area. It's a left-hander, then it eases out, and then there's another corner. It's almost like 3 corners on one. This is the shelf they come up to now. Morganwood, Willie Hepburn, and Viana come up into the hill, and there's Hannes Krobler in the Nissan with Johan could see behind him in the skyline. Then they head down what is commonly known now as the mine shaft. They're going down the IGI mine shaft, and that is about 300 meters as you go down that hill, and then go left in there. The faster drivers, the ones with the bigger hearts, the brave ones go through there virtually flat out as they come into this corner, which is Continental Corners, a series of corners once again. Touch of the brakes here, and then you set up the car to go on the right-hand side, and they start to move around right ways and start to climb up towards Awa. You don't see it so clearly here, but in fact it's a hill going up there over the tunnel, and you start going left, hugging that curb, and you're going down into the fastest part on the circuit. That's down to NTN, where these faster cars will be doing anything from 240 to 250 kilometers an hour. We've just heard from the pits that Sorrel van der Merwe is mobile. As you can see, he's 3/4 of a lap behind the other car, so he's got to start at the back of the field, and he'll have to really, he's going to wait at the entrance to or the exit to the pits as he comes through NTN. This is a very tricky one where we've lost a lot of cars and motorcycles falling off the road here. It's a tricky one. You approach it very quickly indeed, and you go left hand there towards Panasonic. It starts climbing up to Panasonic, and you see that new little kink there, 2 left-handers. That's the 80 meter extension they put into Kyalami. Here they come around this very short area to brake. In that area you've got to slow the car down from about 220 down to about 140, 150. As they come towards us now, the start of this race, it's 10 laps, 38 kilometers. Morganwood leads the way. The lights have turned to green. The pace car's out of the way, and Willie Hepburn in the Sabat Caltex Opel V8 record just out accelerates him into Gantz corner. And that mighty big machine is on its way round Gantz corner and on its way down to Yellow Pages. Well, how was that for acceleration? It was like there's Sorrel van der Merwe getting away now as a smaller car comes into the pits. And Sorrel gets mobile there behind the whole field. He's now got 10 laps to catch up to these people, and it's going to be half a lap, and we'll try and pick up Sorrel as he makes progress through this field. The orders they go up into Wesbank corner for the first time. Heavy onto the brakes for the big Sabat Opel of Hepburn. Then it's the brand new 323. It's a rear-wheel drive 323 with the Mazda 13 motor. It's a very quick one. And there's that low-slung Winfield BMW. It's a BMW Series 3 with a 5 Series engine. Then it's Johan could see Ivor Ross. They've been in battle before. And I see Hannes Krobler on the right-hand side of your screen. He's already slowing down. Something must be wrong. We're waiting to see Sorrel come through at the top of the picture, and here he comes down the center of the road. The whispering wonder car of South African motor racing is mobile and in there with a vengeance. He's going to be coming up through this field. Watch him as he comes down through IGR Intercontinental corner. There he goes. Now he's got a lot of the slower traffic to get through first. They're sportingly moving out of the way. If they don't, he's going to barge his way past anyway, and he's on his way. He's already passed about 5 or 6 motor cars. And here he comes down into the D-class cars now. Here he comes, he's passing Hannes Krobler on the right-hand side of your picture. That's the ex-Henny van der Linde car. He's slowing down, and there's the leader. Willie Hepburn thrilling the crowd to that big Ryan Falconer American V8 engine. It just throbs its way around the circuit, and it's unbelievable the progress he makes around here. Then it's Ben Morganhood in second position. He's got to watch that those tyres don't heat up. And then we've got Tony Viana coming through in third position. A magnificent sounding motor car. It's a straight six, and it's a great handler. It sticks to the road like glue. Up to the shelf at the top, he's battling with a lot of horsepower. Autofit Mazda. That's the accessories department of Mazda. As he comes away now, Sorrell's in the pack and making rapid progress. Krobler's gone into the pits in the meantime, and we'll be watching for Sorrell as this race progresses. There's Krobler going into his pit, and Sorrell has now got himself into 16th position, 22 seconds behind the leader and very mobile. Hepburn in front, Morganroot second in the Mazdas, then it's Viana, Johan Coetzee, Ivor Roche and Paddy Drivers in there.
Uitstekende vertoning in hierdie stadium deur Johan Coetzee wat op die vierde posisie ingeskuif het. Hy's daar, kom hy nou net oor die bultjie. Ivor Roche wat daarbey probeer verbygaan. Ons kyk na Tony Viana se BMW M35, maar as u nou 'n vertoning van bestuur van wil sien, gaan ons kyk of ons vir Sarel van der Merwe vir u kan wys. Want Sarel van der Merwe wat heel agter moes begin omdat hy tegniese probleme opgedoen het met sy motor aan die begin van die wedren. Het natuurlijk heel achter beginnen en hij met zijn pad oopveg deur die res van die veld. Het is natuurlijk makkelijk om deur die achterste motors voorbij te komen, relatief vir hom. Daar is Sarel van der Merwe en hij zal reeds bij Pieter Lindenburg zijn nieuwe BMW voorbij. Dit is bestuurder daar. Sarel van der Merwe op die oomblik in die zevende positie as hy voorbij na 2 rondes. En nou is die oorlog aan die gang en die Wesbank reeks vir gemodifiseerde sedanmotors. Dis Willie Hepburn in die Opel wat voorloop, die groot V8 Opel. Tweede is het Ben Morgenrood in die splinternuwe Mazda 323 met die 1300 engine. Dan is het Tony Viana in die BMW. Johan Coetzee op die oomblik nog steeds in die 4de plek en Ivor Roche in die 5de plek. En daar is Sarel van der Merwe besig om sy al wat hy kan, elke kunsie wat hy weet, wat hy ken uit die boek te haal om daar die achterstand in te haal. En jy kan sien, hy gebruik die hele pad. Hy gebruik soveel van die pad as wat hy kan van die baan. En daar kom hy nou alreeds nader na die Porsche van Gary Dunkerley. Gary Dunkerley met die Porsche 911 en net voor hom is dit die gaping tussen Van der Merwe en Hepburn 20 sekondes en dit is lankal waarskynlik nie meer so nie want hy al in terwyl hulle so deur die Continental draai gaan haal hy in op daardie voorloper. Dis Willie Hepburn nog steeds, maar nou gaan dit begin om al moeiliker en moeiliker te word vir Sarel van der Merwe om verby te kom. Hy is op Gary Dunkerley se sterk, die Porsche 911 van Gary Dunkerley. Daar is ek reeds bedeer Arwa draai by hom verby. Nou in die afdraande af die vinnigste gedeelte van die baan en Sarel van der Merwe gaan hier baie gou inhaal. Hy gaan nou by Paddy Driver verby. Hy is nou reeds in die 5de posisie. Die volgende man in sy versier is Johan Coetzee in die Gearmax Skyline. Johan Coetzee reeds deur National Panasonic. Sarel van der Merwe gaan nou deur National Panasonic. Hier is die voorloper. Dis Willie Hepburn. Willie Hepburn in die V8 Opel Rekord en 'n baie goeie vertoning deur Ben Morgenrood. Die motor is sopas voltooi. Hulle het baie van die begin van die jaar af gewerk aan hierdie motor. En hy is hier op sy debuut, in sy debuutwedren. Ben self was nie baie seker of hierdie motor het gemaak voor hierdie wedren nie. En hier is hy in aksie en hy lê in hierdie stadium in die 2de plek. Hy het ook tweede gekwalifiseer. Dis Willie Hepburn en Ben Morgenrood. En Ben Morgenrood is besig om al nader en nader te skuif aan Willie Hepburn. Daardie motorkie is baie lig en baie hanteerbaar. Waarskynlik baie makliker hanteerbaar as die groot V8 Opel rekord van Willie Hepburn. Tony Viana nog steeds in die 3de posisie, Johan Coetzee 4de en Sarel van der Merwe 5de. Maar hier is 'n stryd om die voorste posisie tussen Willie Hepburn en Ben Morgenrood. En Ben Morgenrood baie duidelik, baie vinnig besig om nader te skuif aan Willie Hepburn. Ons sal kyk of ons vir Sarel van der Merwe vir u kan opspoor in hierdie veld. Hy behoort net agter Johan Coetzee te wees. Johan Coetzee natuurlik die voorste motor in klas B. Hy loop voor in klas B. En Johan Coetzee wat besig is om vir hom 'n naam te maak. Die naam wat hy gehad het al sterker en sterker te bevestig as een van die voorste renjaars in Suid-Afrika. Willie Hepburn en Ben Morgenrood en Ben is teen aan hom. En gaan Ben dit maak as hy in die raai ingaan. Dat is aan die einde van die 4de ronde. As nog 6 rondes oor en Willie Hepburn sit net hier voor daar die voet van hom neer. Hy het die krag in daai motor van hom, die V8 Mustang engine wat uit Amerika uitkom, Mustang gebaseerde engine wat uit Amerika uitkom. En Ben probeer nie buitekant. Hy probeer die vinniger lyn deur die geel bladsy draai, die baie vinnige geel bladsy draai. Sarel van der Merwe nog steeds in die 5de posisie. Hy kon nog steeds nie daarin slaag om by Johan Coetzee te kom nie. En die stof die staan oral om die baan soos wat die manne die hele teer oppervlak gebruik. En Willie Hepburn sit daai motor weer dwars as hy hom daar deur die draai sit. Baie duisende mense wat kom kyk na hierdie wedren vandag hier op Kyalami. Dis die eerste verjaardag byeenkoms op Kyalami en dis 'n glorievolle sonskyndag. Ons het 'n hele klomp feestelik hier reeds gesien. Dis Hepburn, Morgenrood, Viana na 4 rondes gevolg deur Kotse van der Merwe en Iver Rash in die Mazda RX-7, maar die aandag gevestig hier op die voorlopers en nou begin die stadiger verkeer natuurlik 'n faktor word. Stadiger verkeer wat hier 'n groot verskil kan maak in hierdie wedren. As hulle die voorlopers gaan terughou, dan gaan van der Merwe daarin kan slaag om daardie gaping nog vinniger, nog gouer kleiner te maak. Steeds die voorloper Willie Hepburn. Sy Opel rekord is 'n produksiemotor gebaseerde onderstel wat hy daar gebruik. En natuurlik die ingevoerde engine uit Amerika, V8 Chevy engine, die Mustang engine. Ben Morgenrood baie vinnig en baie kort op saak. Daai motor hanteer baie goed. Dis baie duidelik in die draaierige gedeelte van die baan. As hy hier uit hierdie draai kom, kan jy sien dat Ben probeer om aan die buitekant neem. Ben probeer om aan die buitekant neem, maar Willie Hepburn die krag om daar onder Ben uit te jaag, om onder Morgenrood uit te jaag, en dan kan 'n mens weer sien as mens in die stadiger gedeelte van die baan. Hier Sarel van der Merwe en hy's by Johan Kotse verby. En Sarel sit daai motor dwars soos 'n tydrenmotor, die rook die trek. En dit is aan die brand van der Merwe wat ons hier in aksie sien. Dit is 'n vertoning van bestuursvernuf wat 'n mens net van der Merwe kan verwag. En hierdie wedren is nog lank nie verby nie.
And they're coming up now in some of the E-class cars, and a bit of history here too, that Sean van der Linden just coming into picture now. That's Henny van der Linden's son. First time at Kyalami, leading class here ahead of the lap record holder Sapira, as the two of them get together. And Willie Hepburn now knows he's got to fight as he comes past Sean van der Linden and Sapiro. It's Willie Hepburn in that big Sabre Caltex V8 Opel, really giving it his all. Here they're coming to some more of the slower traffic at Simon Trobler in the little city sport. And these two, and Ben Morgenrood is aggressive. He wants through. He'll barge his way through. In the meantime, Sarel van der Merwe is getting a lot closer. We've worked it out that he could maybe get through to third position. The gap is still staying the same now. Sarel puts on that magnificent display. These others are getting through the traffic very quickly. And Morgenrood, for making a debut in this motor car, is having a fairy tale time. He really is. Just look at the handling of it, the performance. It's right in there with that big V8. He's got 1300 cc and they're outdragging it. Here comes the power of that V8. It's like a drag strip here past the pits. He just puts foot there. Some people say that Willie Hepburn has a size 11 shoe on the right foot where he works the throttle and a size 7 where he works the clutch. He really is able to floor that car with a very heavy foot. Look at this for driving. This Saturday is in the Audi at Kyalami and giving everybody a magnificent display of his talent and that of the motor car. Next Saturday is going to be in the Stelling Mountain Trial in a Volkswagen Golf in the South African Rally Championship. So Sarel having a busy time. He's been at Le Mans this year. He's been racing in other sports car races, and I hear that they want him to go back and race overseas in some of these World Championship sports car races. Still the pressure's on now from Morgenrood. Still Willie Hepburn keeps him out as they get into more of the slower traffic. As they head down that hill now, it's just floorboards there, into second, third, fourth, and they're going to fifth and sweep across. This is going to hold up Morgenrood. Is he going to get through this time? And Hepburn's starting to get a bit of a gap. That slower car is getting in the way as he goes through. Magnificent debut for this motor car of Morgenrood's. Really credit to him and his team that built this motor car with the rotary Mazda engine in the front. It's a rear-wheel drive car, and you couldn't ask for better. He's right in there with the leaders and giving it his all. Losing a little bit of ground as they come down to NTN through the traffic, but he's quick here, very quick. As we do the braking, you swing in there, get onto the anchors now. Half the braking is done by sliding the motor car and scrubbing the speed up, and he's right there with it. And look at the power of that Opel. It just puts its big feet on the road and comes away, and Sarel's getting closer. Here he comes now as he comes up with some of the slow traffic. That's Sean van der Linden. He comes into David. No, it's not. It's Scrobler and Sarel Santos. Look at this for a piece of driving. Four-wheel drive, smoking tyres, and away he goes. What a piece of driving by the Springbok. In rallies, he's hardly able to. If the car hangs together, Sarel, you could hardly beat him. If it's in racing, what a performance by this absolute artist on anything on four wheels. He's tremendous on dirt roads, on tar roads, and Morgenrood is very quick around the back section as he comes onto the shelf here at Wesbank. Top of the circuit, long drop down, you're way up the top of the hill, the Wesbank hill, and he goes down. It's 20 seconds still between Sarel and these two gentlemen in the front here. That's Willie Hepburn. Sarel Can he keep going at this pace? And that Monaco must have those tyres so heated up as that big Sabat Opel is now being challenged. Morgenhood is quick around the section and is starting to challenge.
Ja, Roger, ek dink ons kan hier nog baie vuurwerke verwag in hierdie wedren. Daar's nog so 'n bietjie meer as 3 rondes oor in hierdie wedren en die manier waarop Ben Morgenrood en Willie Hebben teen mekaar jaag, kan ek voorsien dat ons gaan vuurwerke sien. En hier is Van der Merwe weer. En gaan Van der Merwe hierdie motor op die pad kan hou. Die bande werk verskriklik hard om die motor op die pad te hou natuurlik en is 'n swaar motor. Hier word ekstra gewig aan die motor geplaas om seker te maak dat hy min of meer net so kompeterend is, mededingend is as die ander motors in klas A om die kompetisie meer gelyk te maak. Want daardie Audi natuurlik het al weggejaag van die res van die kompetisie in hierdie jaar se wedrenne en weer eens is dit Van der Merwe. Hy het so 'n bietjie van 'n fout gemaak dink ek in die vorige draai toe hy daar omgegaan het. Te veel krag neergesit. Hierdie keer doen hy 'n bietjie meer glad. Mens verloor natuurlik tyd as jy die motor se ster te ver laat uitkom en jy eers weer die motor se neus in die regte rigting moet kry. En daai gaping is besig om al kleiner te word. Dit is nou net onder die 20 sekondes, 19,7 sekondes. Die gaping tussen Willie Hebben wat daar voorloop met Ben Morgenrood so kort op sy hakke. En is daar Van der Merwe in die 4de plek. Tony Viana het ons nog nie baie gesien nie, maar Tony Viana nog steeds in die 3de posisie in sy Winfield BMW M35 en ook 'n baie gelukkige wedren vir hom. Hy hou konstant daar by in die 3de posisie.
Meters from there onto the brake marks at Yellow Pages corner. Well, that's them going around past Sponsor City as they go through Yellow Pages corner. Now, as you see on the front there, it's Cyril van der Merwe, and his big challenge is going to come from Graham Duxbury. A little earlier, we spoke to Cyril van der Merwe.
Well, ek dink die voor is heel wat vinniger as my kar. So, ek sal moet sien wie eerst in die eerste draai kan inkom. Duxbury behoort voor my in te wees, en as hy voor my inkom, dan gaan het moeilijk wees om erbij te komen.
Well, I don't know if he's just foxing them by saying those things as they come up the Winfield Hill up to Wesbank corner. That huge field of cars as they come into the Wesbank shelf. And Graham Duxbury's following Cyril van der Merwe. There's Tony Viana. There's that big V8 Opel of Willie Hepburn inside him. He's got the aggressive Ben Morgenrood. And the big surprise in Class B is that Ivor Roche, the man from King Williamstown in that Hyperspares Mazda, he's leading Class B ahead of Sorensen. And strangely, in 3rd position, Johan could see in that Gearmax Skyline. Sorensen, of course, in the Sabat Skyline. They're starting to gather speed now just to get those tyres warmed up. As they go through Conti Corner, lovely shots. You see that over that tunnel. They're coming up to the tunnel. It's a very tricky corner, that one. They need to warm those tyres up because when they break for Yellow Pages on the first tour, you're going to find if the tyres aren't warm, they won't be able to stop as quickly. And look at that lovely big field down in Class E, the 1300cc class. With his 3rd race in this series is Sean van der Linde, the son of the famous Henny van der Linde. He's driving Little City Golf. He's won both his previous races. He's set up record laps and he really is tipped to have a great future in this racing. So it's a full field come to Kyalami. It's the 9th round of the South African Championships in the Wesbank Modified Racing. And what a field it is as they move slowly in position. Now the advantage of having pole for Cyril is that he comes across the line. He'll be the first one to cross the line. They're not allowed to be ahead of him when they do cross the line. So he decides the speed of the whole field across the line. Of course, he's going to decide on the speed that suits him most. He's got power being delivered through whatever gear he uses as he comes through there. There's Dick Sorensen in that Sabat Sky. He's the champion in this class. Now the pace car, that BMW, will be moving out of the way very swiftly as they come around Panasonic. You can see the new section, 90 meters longer on the circuit. It's a new section being used for the last few meetings. And you see Cyril just edge ahead. And he's on the left-hand side of your screen. Duxbury on the right-hand side. Going for the 3rd position is Tony Viana. Morgan, who doesn't get away quickly. Robbie Smith, I see there's a man we haven't seen in racing either in the Autocoup Mazda as they go in there. Cyril van der Merwe being followed by the Sasol Ford of Graham Duxbury, and then it's Tony Viana, then it's Willie Hepburn, then it's Ben Morgenrood, the first 5 as they go away. Van der Merwe, Duxbury as they come through there and head up the Winfield Hill now with the turbo popping and blowing on 2 turbocharged cars in front. It's a 3.5 litre 6-cylinder BMW 24 valve 6 as they're going to Wesbank. Cyril's in the front there, but they'll be after him, that is for sure. He says that after 3 laps his tires get very hot and the car gets it slides all over the road, and of course the amount of power that these cars put out, in some cases more than Grand Prix cars, and of course they weigh twice the weight, and that's the reason we have a rolling start, so they're not putting all that power through the chassis with that great amount of weight and maybe break some drive shafts or whatever. Sorel van der Merwe with Duxbury on his tail. Then it's Tony Viana in the Winfield BMW. It's a very, very low machine. Now somebody's blown. That's Duxbury's Ford has gone. It's the Duxbury's out of this race, and you can see there it's coming out of the exhaust pipes just behind his front wheel, and that turbo is gone. Coming out of the steam as the other. Well, that's a great pity there that Graham Duxbury's gone out. A lot of development work has gone in by Bernie Marion and his team. But this race is on well and truly. Sorel van der Merwe away on his own in the front there. And here's the big race going on. The Save-At Opel of Willie Hepburn's now starting. He's on fire too. He needs to get out very quickly. The marshal to be there in a flat. But that's a great pity, Hendrik.
Ja, inderdaad, Roger, dit is 'n groot jammer. Hierdie motor het baie goed ontwikkel geword en hy het baie goeie oefentuie opgestel, ook gister in die oefenrondes. En Duxbury is baie bekommerd oor daardie vlamme natuurlik wat uit daardie motors en hy het 'n brandblusser daar in die kajuit wat hy self nou gaan probeer. Waar is die beamptes? Hulle is daar onmiddellik daar en gelukkig is hulle betyds daar om daardie vlamme te blus. En Duxbury is, mens kan verstaan dat hy baie bekommerd is. Terug by die voorloper, Sorel van der Merwe, kort op sake, is dit Tony Viana, Willie Hepburn en Ben Morgenrood. Ben Morgenrood wat met daardie pragtig ontwikkelde Mazda 323 van hom baie dwars daar deur Wesbank draai gaan in hierdie stryd om hierdie eerste posisie is tussen hierdie, of om die tweede posisie is tussen hierdie drie manne. Van der Merwe wat reeds 'n groot gaping opgemaak het en dit lyk of hy probeer om daardie gaping so groot as moontlik op te maak sodat hy 'n kussing het waarop hy die oorwinning kan baseer en dat hy daardie geleentheid het sodat hy nie so hard hoef te jag aan die einde van die wedren nie. Maar hier is die stryd om die tweede plek. Ben Morgenrood op die oomblik in die vierde posisie. Willie Hepburn net reg voor hom en Tony Viana in daardie groot BMW M35 waar hy ook baie meer tevrede is na die oefenrond is vanoggend uitgesê dat hy voel dat die motor vir die eerste keer hanteer soos hy dit graag wil hê en hy sien uit na hierdie wedren. Dis die draai daar in die begin van die hoofbouwvak aan die einde van die tweede ronde en hoor en toe klink daar die turbo aanjaar in Sorel van der Merwe se Audi Quattro. Vierwiel aangedrewe motor ingevoer uit die buiteland spesiaal vir hierdie wedren. Willie Hepburn gaan aan die binnekant by Viana verbykom. Viana het 'n probleem. Viana het waarskynlik 'n probleem. Dit lyk of hy stadiger gaan. En Ben Morgenrood skuif ook by hom verby. Viana het ook 'n probleem. Hierdie motors ontwikkel natuurlik soveel krag. Dit is die voorpunt van tegnologie hierdie en daar is ook 'n probleem vir Tony Viana. Groot eise wat gestel word aan die motors engines, die aandryfstelsels, die veerstelsels en dit is wat die tol eis in hierdie wedrenne. Hulle haal alles wat hulle kan haal hulle uit in hierdie wedrenne om daardie krag op die pad neer te sit sodat hulle die teenstanders daarmee kan klop. Willie Hepburn op die oomblik in daardie groot V8 Opel rekord van hom in die tweede posisie. Kort op sake Ben Morgenrood, 'n man wat reeds ronde rekords hou op Welkom en ander plekke in Suid-Afrika met hierdie motor van hom self ontwikkel by sy eie ontwikkelingsentrum daar in Randfontein. En Willie Hepburn wat ook baie hard werk aan daai motor van hom. Hy ontwikkel hom ook self. Willie Hepburn wat nou sy visier ingestel het op Sorel van der Merwe. Gaan van der Merwe daar aan slag om daai voertuig van hom te bou. Is oor die bultjie daar, die vinnigste deel van die baan is NTN draai dan in Panasonic draai in die begin van die hoofbouwvak van der Merwe wat hard werk agter die stuur van daardie Audi Quattro van hom. Turbo 8 jaagde motor. Willie Hepburn, klein mannetjie wat in 'n groot motor jaag en hy geniet sy motorsport. En hy geniet hierdie wedrenne ook. Hy werk baie hard. Dit kan u van my glo dit word baie warm in daardie stuurkajuit van die motor. En hy is op die oomblik besig om nader te kom van der Merwe. Willie Hepburn wat op die tweede plek is. Vroeër vanoggend het ons ook met hom gesels om te hoor hoe voel hy oor hierdie wedren wat voor lê vandag.
Right, I was bedding in new pads this morning in practice, and when I started to go quickly, my clutch started slipping. So I didn't get a good position, but I hope to do very well in the race.
Wel, daardie wegspringposisie van hom was in die vierde plek en hy is nou opgeskuif na die tweede plek. Kyk net hoe hard werk hy om daardie draai. As daardie motor dwars deurskuif daar in die eerste van die topsport draai. Ben Morgenrood kort op sy hakke en Ben Morgenrood is besig om nader te kom ook. Bietjie van 'n klein rook daar uit Sorel van der Merwe se voorwiel soos dat hy op die remme klim en daardie baie skerp en baie moeilike Wesbank draai. Jy kan sien hoe vinnig kom hy daardeur. En Ben Morgenrood is besig om nader te kom. Hy is op die oomblik in die derde posisie en besig om al nader te kom aan Willie Hepburn. 2 sekondes is 'n verskil op die oomblik en daai gaping gaan beslis nie so bly nie. Ben Morgenrood wat ook baie reputasie het van 'n aggressiewe renjaer, maar 'n mens moet baie aggressief wees in hierdie geselskap. Dit is die groot kanonne van Suid-Afrikaanse motorsport. Dit is die soort van motorwedrenne wat Suid-Afrikaners baie lief voor is. Die krag en die geraas en die bande wat skree, die reuk van brandstof van hierdie groot klas A gemodifiseerde sedan motors. Dit is die 9de ronde in verjaar se nasionale kampioenskapsreeks. Wat ons hier op Kyalami sien vandag. 6 rondes wat oorbly in hierdie wedren van 10 rondes en is dit Willie Hebben en Ben Morgenrood wat nader kom aan Van der Merwe.
Ek is vol vertroue dat ons die wedren gaan wen. Ons het baie hard gewerk aan die motorkar. Ons het die hantering nog verder verbeter. Perdekrag is dieselfde as wat dit altyd was. Maar ek glo met die hantering en 'n groot probeerslag kan ons dit vandag doen.
En daardie glimlag sê die vertroue is daar en die vertoning op die oomblik sê dat hy daardie vertroue glad geen skade aandoen nie. Hy is op die hakke van Willie Hebben. Willie Hebben wat met 'n uitsluitlike groot Chev Engine V8 krag daarmee kan spog. En Ben Morgenrood en daardie klein was dit en hy gaan nou maak aan die binnekant van Wesbank draai. Ja, hy druk vir Willie Hebben uit na die buitekant toe met die pouvak af daar in die afdraande die mynskag soos dit bekend staan is dit nog steeds die brute krag van die V8 wat die oorhand kry daar oor Ben Morgenrood se Mazda 323 en steeds is die aksie en die opwinding daar. Dit is besig om al nader te kom aan die stadiger motors aan die einde aan die agterkant van die veld.
Well, it was like a drag race coming out of Wesbank corner down that mine shaft. They seem to be getting a little bit close. He's taken 0.1 of a second off him as Willie Hepburn, but as Morgenrood came alongside, he just put the foot down and the almighty power of that big V8 just took there and he just out-accelerated. It was like a drag race going down the hill. As they get into the back markers, this could change things. Right. Now then Saul van der Merwe coming through. Past the pits, they're getting through the traffic very quickly. Morgenrood very quick. He's got a superb machine, a state-of-the-art Mazda 323 with that rotary motor. And he gets it through the corners very quickly. And back he goes on to Hepburn's tail as they get into some of the back markers. That's Michael Sapira they got in that City Golf. Ahead of him, he's got little Sean van der Linde leading Class E at the moment. Fastest lap has been done by Saul van der Merwe. He's doing 31, so they're capable of going a lot quicker than this. There's Van der Merwe up the hill. And there comes Willie Hepburn. That's Saul coming to view now. Here comes Morgenrood again. He's got that smaller car in front of him. And he's trying to get on the inside. No, it's not going to work this time. Willie Hepburn now knows what he's going to do. And Hepburn is closing. No doubt about it. He's taken another quarter of a second off him as he starts to go. Saul was saying that his tyres go off after about 3-4 laps. But we've had now 5 laps. We've got half this race to go. We've got about 18 kilometres of this race to go. And there's Van der Merwe. There is Willie Hepburn. Ben Morgenrood. 3 of them come down the hill towards us. Right, and still the same orders they come through there. Tony Vaughan unfortunately had trouble in this race. He's not in the picture at the moment, but we spoke to him a little earlier.
You were in a very fortunate position there in the front, chasing the leading man. What do you think what went wrong?
I don't know. It felt to me like a plug wire. The heat and oil, everything is still fine. So maybe it's an injector or something that cocked up on the packed up on the fuel injection.
Well, that's very bad luck because the car sounded exceptionally well in the first couple of laps.
I thought, oh, I've got it. I'm coming nearer, and that was it. That was my end of my race. Thank you.
Ja, dit is motorsport in Indiana. Baie teleurgestel. Graham Cooper wat met hom daar gesels het in die Kuip en net nadat hy ingekom het. Ongelukkig enjin probleme, maar dit is motorsport en veral in hierdie vlak van motorsport kan dinge baie lelik verkeerd gaan, baie gou. En Sarah van der Merwe wat nou besig is om weer te sny deur die agterkant van die veld, die stadiger motortjies in die laer klasse. Kom ons kyk net eers vinnig na die volgorde in hierdie stadium terwyl Morgenrood en Willie Hebben 'n geweldige stryd het van daai tweede posisie. Hou hulle dop. Die volgorde Sarah van der Merwe, Willie Hebben op die oomblik in die tweede plek, gevolg deur Ben Morgenrood. Rush wat die eerste motor in klas B is op die oomblik is vierde algeheel, gevolg deur Johan Kutse. Groot stryd tussen daardie twee manne. Johan Kutse in die Gearmax Nissan Skyline. Dick Sorensen is op die oomblik 6de, gevolg deur Paddy Driver en Gary Dunkerley in daardie goed voorbereide pragtige Porsche. Maar die aandag steeds op Ben Morgenrood en Willie Hebben. Willie Hebben het die krag, die voordeel van daai groot V8 Chev engine wat hy onder daai engine kap het en jy kan sien hoe die lugfilter daarbo die lug inlaat. Ben Morgenrood wat opgeskuif na die tweede posisie. Waarskynlik die stadige verkeer wat gemaak het dat hy 'n gaping gesien het waar Willie Hebben dit nie gesien het nie. Baie vriendelik word hy daar deurgewuif en waar is Hebben? Hebben wat by die Kuipe intrek. Hebben kom in die Kuip ingetrek. Dis 'n groot teleurstelling. Nog 'n groot teleurstelling, die slagting van die Wesbank gemodifiseerde sedan motors gaan voort. Wat nog steeds voor is. Nou is dit Ben Morgenrood in die tweede plek, opgeskuif in die derde plek. Algeheel is dit nou Iverage eerste in klas B, vierde Johan Kutse kort op sy hakke ook tweede in klas B. Dan is dit vyfde Algeheel Dick Sorensen, sesde is dit Paddy Driver, sewende Gary Dunkerley in die Porsche. En Ben Morgenrood gaan baie gelukkig voel as hy hier in die tweede plek kan eindig en as die slagting so voortduur, dan is dit moontlik dat hierdie volgorde nie so gaan bly aan die einde van hierdie wedren nie. Daar is reeds 7 rondes afgehandel, 'n nuwe ronde rekord in klas B opgestel deur Iverage, 1 minuut 34,97 sekondes. Iverage die nuwe ronde rekord agter sy naam in klas B. Iverage wat hierdie Mazda RX-7 bestuur. Hy kom van King Williamstown af en 'n groot renjaer, 'n man wat in elke gemodifiseerde sedan motor wedren deelneem waar hy kan. Van der Merwe wat sê baie dankie. Hy kom deur. En dit is die Motor King klas D, is die motor van Simon Grobelaar wat vir hom daar sê, Sarel, kom verby. Ons is nie eers naaste by in dieselfde wedren nie. Ben Morgenrood wat nou by Grobelaar gaan begin verbykom. En is Morgenrood nader. Hy sê vir hom ook baie dankie. En Morgenrood is nader aan Van der Merwe. 2 rondes wat oorbly. Daar's 2 rondes wat oorbly in hierdie wedren en Morgenrood is besig om al nader en nader te skuif aan Sarel van der Merwe, Roger.
He's leading it from the front. He controls it from the front. There's an aggressive boy just behind him with Morgenrood. And in Class B, we've got Magic Racing going on just behind them. They're having an almighty dice in. As you heard from Hendrik, Iverage has just set up a new lap record. Here's some of the other smaller cars in this race. That's Bill Skipper just going around there now. As Sol goes up the hill, he's passing Nico van Mensburg, who's coming to racing in the George Bezuiden at Exa. And Van der Merwe, I think, has got this all controlled. I don't think they're going to beat him. He's in a magnificent machine. We forget about the combination is so good. The car is good, the driver's good, but Morgenrood is trying. He never gives up. That's one thing. And when he gets onto his tail, it's going to be very exciting indeed. Hepburn is out, unfortunately, out of this race. So is Tony Viana, as you heard, with a plug lead problem. But maybe we'll see him in the second race as they come off. And you can see Van der Merwe's tyres are going off, and Morgenrood is keeping the relentless pressure on. He's going for him. Here comes Van der Merwe. He's coming up now on Pat Duckham. Pat Duckham in the Fram Sierra from Peter Marisburg. And Van der Merwe is battling with the car. You can see him turning the... I don't know whether he's got a puncture or not, but he's a lot of understeer going. And here comes Ben Morgenrood. The man from Randfontein is getting closer. Tyres look all right, but those tyres are well and truly overheated as Morgenrood goes into his last lap. They're passing Pat Duckham. There's the Fram Sierra. He's just come past Maritzburg team. Ahead of him, he's got George Bezuiden. There's traffic on the road as we get into these final few stages of this lap. It's Van der Merwe leading Morgenrood. Iverage is leading Class B in the Hyperspace Mazda. Kutse, Sorensen and Driver are tied together.
Right, Willie, the things were looking very well. We know you've been having clutch problems. What actually went wrong now?
Broke a front hub on the front wheel.
So in other words, without that hub, you can't stop the vehicle at all.
Can't stop it, no brakes.
But other than that, the engine and everything going very well.
Everything's going very well. Yeah, I was very sorry to see it break.
Well, there's another heat left. Do you think you can have it repaired before then?
Fortunately, I haven't got a spare one the same.
So we won't be seeing you in the next heat. Bad luck, Willie Hepburn.
Sorry about that.